Alex Pereira is the UFC light heavyweight champion again in highlight reel fashion. He finishes Magomed Ankalaev in less than 2 minutes. We're going to get into that and the rest of this card along with a little bit of BKFC because this was a tremendous night in combat sports. You can actually hear it. I kind of lost my voice from yelling at the TV during the fights. But let's get into it. UFC 320. If this is your first time viewing my channel, my name is Wyatt, and this is Fight Society. Let's get into it. Okay, so Alex Pereira in the main event of UFC 320 showed no hesitation at all, literally sprinted at Magomed Ankalaev, rushed him to begin the fight, throwing a 1-2 right down the pipe to start the fight. Ankalaev was not ready for this at all. This right here is the finish. The UFC, I guess, is posting finishes on their social media now. Here we have Alex Pereira, massive right overhand, and then finishing with ground and pound. Big overhand hurts Ankalaev. He shoots a panic takedown. It gets stuffed. Pereira, ground and pound from top. Punches, elbows to the body, 12-6 elbows to the head as well. Nasty ground and pound. Herb Dean let it go on for a while. Herb Dean let Ankalaev have his chance, and he just didn't have shit for Alex Pereira. And then Pereira emotes on Ankalaev. After all that shit he had been talking, he just got fucking TKO'd in like 80 seconds. Pereira, aura restored as well. What can I say? He's a top 5 fighter of all time. There is no debating it. He is a top 5 UFC fighter of all time. There almost isn't even that much to break down because it was such a short fight. Alex Pereira, when people talk shit to him, he puts them away early. Jamal Hill and now Ankalaev. Alex Pereira said he was at 40% for their first fight. Sounded like a little bit of an excuse. I was a little bit worried, and I biasedly picked Pereira because of how much I like him. He went out there and got the job done. Turns out he was telling the truth about the sickness and injury going into UFC 313. Order restored. The man back on top of the 205 division. And in the post-fight press conference, Dana White said that Alex Pereira at the PI today said he wants to go to heavyweight before he even won this fight tonight. And I honestly think that with Tom Aspinall fighting in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, this sets up perfectly for Alex Pereira versus Tom Aspinall if Aspinall beats Ciryl Gane. Alex Pereira versus Tom Aspinall for the UFC Heavyweight Championship, the White House next June. We're in October. 8 months leading up to an event like that, 7 months. I think it makes perfect sense so that both of them are rested and healed up from whatever injuries they may have. Alex Pereira had a dislocated or broken toe at the end of the fight tonight. Dana seems hesitant to allow Pereira to go to heavyweight, but I think that Pereira versus Aspinall is bar none the best option for the White House because even though Conor is doing his promo run saying that he is the White House main event, Dana doesn't seem so sure about it. He says they won't start negotiating fights till February. And given that the UFC has some other champs that do not have fights right now, big name champs that do not have fights right now for the end of this year / early next year, Volkanovski, Ilya Topuria, Khamzat Chimaev, Islam and Jack Della Maddalena fight in a few weeks or in like 6-7 weeks. I think that Alex Pereira, Tom Aspinall makes a ton of sense for the White House main event. In the co-main event, Merab absolutely dominated Cory Sandhagen. Sandhagen had a few good moments where he landed a big shot. He missed that right knee up the middle like 3-4 times. That would have been devastating for Merab. Merab was just too much for him. And it seems to be like that's the case in every Merab fight. Like I said was going to happen, 49-46 decision. It actually ended up being 49-45. And in my prediction video, I did pick Jiri, Merab, and Alex. But there's not much to say. There really isn't anything left for Merab. Maybe they do Peter Yan in December. Maybe they do Pantoja sometime next year if he gets past Josh Van. Not a huge fan of Merab's style at times. I don't like how he's getting a takedown, not advancing position, not even holding the takedown, and then like dancing behind Cory Sandhagen while he knees him in the thigh. To a certain degree, I think that the refs need to make him pay for that. But now with his popularity and the number of title defenses, he's going to get the benefit of the doubt. They're not going to stand those up. But overall, of course, good performance from Merab. Fine. I'm really, after the O'Malley finish where he choked out O'Malley, I had a lot more respect for Merab. I was like, wow, okay, he's even further advancing. But after tonight, I was like, okay, dominant but boring. My Merab hate train continues or revives. And then, of course, fight of the night to me, Jiri Prochazka versus Khalil Roundtree. A very weird fight, I must say, where Jiri looked like absolute shit for the first 2 rounds. He was down 2-0 on all the judges' scorecards. Frankly, looked terrible. Really twitchy, really jumpy, kind of just blocking punches with his head. Really, really slow, not checking any kicks. Khalil just chipping away, jab, low kick, circle, jab, low kick, circle. Weirdly enough, just like in a split second, Khalil Roundtree, with like 3 minutes left in the fight, just gassed out and just started backing up aggressively, backing up and fading. And Jiri saw that, and Jiri, just like the dog that he is, just dogged it out. Khalil got tired and lazy because his hands were down and eventually ate some big shots and got dropped on his fucking forehead by Jiri Prochazka. Unfortunately, he's lost to Alex Pereira twice now, so a third fight is going to be tough for him. But I think that the best case scenario for everybody is Alex Pereira goes up to heavyweight to fight Tom Aspinall, and you do Jiri Prochazka versus Carlos Ulberg. That could be a pay-per-view main event for the vacant light heavyweight belt or the interim, whatever you want to do. I think that makes the most amount of sense. Jiri versus Ulberg for the vacant belt / interim belt, with Alex Pereira going up to fight Tom Aspinall if he gets past Ciryl Gane. Pereira Aspinall at the White House, Jiri Ulberg, some sort of like Australia pay-per-view or Abu Dhabi pay-per-view, Saudi Arabia pay-per-view, Eastern Europe pay-per-view, something like that. Makes a lot of sense. And great performance by Jiri in the third, but holy shit, the Jiri that fought Khalil Roundtree tonight would have gotten knocked out in 30 seconds by Alex Pereira. I'm dead serious. So Jiri has a lot to work on. He looked a step behind for most of the fight, and he was just able to grit his way through to a finish. So shout out to Jiri. I fucking went crazy because I love Jiri and I love Alex Pereira too. I went crazy twice tonight, but a lot of things for Jiri Prochazka to clean up, if we're being honest. Quick break. If you're loving this video and you want more from Fight Society, click that join button down below to become a channel member today, where you'll get access to members-only live streams, behind-the-scenes vlogs, and all the unfiltered stuff that we don't post to the main channel. Back to the video. Josh Emmett got absolutely smoked. He said he was in the best shape of his life, and he got a double leg that he didn't defend, straight to a back take. Youssef Zalal fell off, and Josh Emmett gets locked up in an armbar and verbally taps. Not really sure where you go from here, but Youssef Zalal, give him a top 5 guy. Maybe give him a Diego Lopez because he's not going to get a title shot right now. Zalal said give Lopez a title shot and let me get Lerone Murphy. I think you give Lerone Murphy a title shot and you do Zalal versus Lopez. I think that's a sick fight. Fight night main event, main card of a pay-per-view, something like that. So that's a great fight too. Great performance by Youssef Zalal. Not really much else to say. A lot of quick fights. And then the main card opener was Joe Pyfer up against Abus Magomedov. Joe Pyfer honestly getting manhandled in the first round. A really, really weak performance in the first round, but quickly turned it around, turned up the pace, ended up getting the back, and after having to fight for it for about a minute, finished with a rear naked choke. Good on Joe Pyfer. This was a massive win for him, especially coming off the Kelvin Gastelum win. He's going to get a ranked opponent next. He's going to get like a Roman Kopylov, a Shara Magomedov, something like that, that's in that 10 to 15 range, something like that. One thing that Joe Pyfer really needs to clean up is that, Pereira landed that big overhand and KO'd or, badly hurt Ankalaev that led to the finish. Joe Pyfer just spams this like chasing overhand and he never lands and he just gasses himself out. Luckily, he was able to recover and get a finish today, but for fuck's sake, it's just so sloppy. So good on him. He got the win, but for fuck's sake, I mean, you really can't just run at top level fighters with your hands down, chin up, throwing overhands like you're throwing fastballs in baseball. It's just not going to work. It worked here, but against a top 15 guy, top 10 guy, definitely a top 5 guy, that shit's not going to fly. But win for Joe Pyfer. Francis Ngannou Jr. is here. An absolutely menacing performance here by Atiba Gautier. Absolutely smoking this Trayvon Vibes, whatever his name was. This man, Vines, should not have been in a UFC octagon. They started the fight and he immediately ran away, sprinting all over the cage, freaked out the second a single shot got thrown his way. And you see right here, an absolutely vicious finish where he shot a takedown on Gauthier, and Gauthier actually knocked him out with an elbow up against the fence, and you see him go limp right here. Boom. There. Vicious. Oh my God. Vicious 2, 3, maybe 4 punches after that, but absolutely vicious. I would like to see a much tougher opponent, but he's scary. Atiba Gauthier. Scary, powerful, middleweight Francis Ngannou. He's from Cameroon as well, like Francis. He fights a lot like Francis. Very muscle-bound, very powerful. But still, that guy, Trayshawn Vines, whatever it was, Trevor guy, whatever it was, he sucked, and he should not have been in a UFC cage. They just wanted to keep this big prospect in Gauthier on the card as the featured prelim, as the next guy they're going to push. But oh my God, this guy was terrible. I know he just got knocked out. I'm not going to kick him too much while he's down, but holy shit. Terrible performance. Did not belong in the UFC. Ran away. You saw he looked terrified. And to be fair, I would too, but looked terrified. And the second anything came his way, he shoots a takedown and gets knocked out in the clinch by an elbow. Pretty wild. So moving on from there, Jusang Yu, who had if I'm not mistaken, had a viral KO check hook against Jekka Sering earlier this year. He was like emoting, trying to move like Connor or like Mauricio Huffy in the fight, and he ended up getting clipped and badly KO'd after emoting and taunting Daniel Santos, who's a shootbox guy, Charles Oliveira teammate, Diego Lima. He did bad. He did really bad after emoting for like the majority of the fight, which I was super disappointed in. And yeah, he's a really good prospect, this Jusang Yu guy, but holy shit, that was a very, very bad KO. And he was fighting a guy that was built like a fucking bag of milk. He looked like he wasn't even in camp. So he has a lot to clean up. You can't just rely on head movement at the highest level. Not even the highest level. You're in the UFC, but not even ranked. And you're getting knocked out because you got your hands down. So that's got to get fixed. Patchy Mix, in my opinion, absolutely got robbed. I thought he won the fight 29-28, but it goes to Jakub Wicklach, I think is how you say his name. Jakub Wicklach, how I heard Joe Rogan say it. Look, it was a good fight, but Patchy won that fight. He's dog shit. Don't get me wrong. He'd get smoked by anybody in the rankings. I don't know. Maybe they cut him. Maybe they give him somebody around the rankings, but he sucks for the UFC. And they were saying he was the best bantamweight in the world before he got signed. It's another Aaron Pico type situation. But we move on to BKFC. BKFC, Mike Perry beats Jeremy Stephens in the 5th round after dropping him 6 times to win the King of Violence title in BKFC. Honestly, Conor McGregor, Mike Perry, Dave Feldman, everybody, these guys are doing a great job selling this product because I've never seen somebody as made for a combat sport as Mike Perry is for bare knuckle. He's tough. He's a dog. He's got good boxing. He's got it figured out, and he's honestly like the GOAT of BKFC. Mike Perry actually took a Conor line right here during his win speech, which I really liked. I fucking love Mike Perry, man. This is so awesome that he left the UFC, didn't really work out, and, you know, he's got kids, married, the BKFC thing worked out. He's sitting up there with Conor McGregor, the biggest stage possible for Mike Perry's career. It's a feel-good thing. Most of the fans like him. I'm super pumped that he's getting this type of platform and that he's the face of BKFC besides Conor, but Conor's not an athlete for them. And I love that, you know, one, Conor seems to love being a part of BKFC, obviously, but also it's just hilarious that BKFC events are just like a playground for Conor. He runs around, he's doing coke in the back, he's probably fucking the ring girls in the bathroom, he's giving out rollies, he's pushing and shoulder checking fighters. It's a lot of good stuff. Tonight was a fantastic night in combat sports, and it has me in a great mood after the PFL blunder that is that entire organization and their shitty event and shitty decision in the main event yesterday. Combat sports had a massive dub tonight. Alex Pereira is the champ. Merab defended. Jiri Prochazka, great win. Great UFC card. And BKFC on the rise as well. I'll be covering BKFC a little bit here and there because they're on the rise. Guys, let me know your thoughts down below. Fucking amazing night for combat sports. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'm Wyatt. This is Fight Society. I'll see you next time. Do you want more from Fight Society? Like and subscribe below this video and click the join button to become a channel member today to get access to behind the scenes vlogs and members only live streams.